Well, my dear Bulas and Barras, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, where it's green dildos only, baby, and Bitcoin absolutely powerful in the overnight hours. It kept completely just bulldozing its way through all the way to 27,600 right now. Holy fook. And, well, with that said, we got plenty to talk about today. Also, before we get into it, I want to say a sincere thank you for all of the well wishes for Elsa's birthday. It really meant a lot to her, and that was really, really cool to see. So massive thank you for that, and you really made her day. So I just wanted to get that out there. Anyways, back into the actual analysis itself. Let's put the focus on the CrownGene application over here, which we found at app.crowngene.net. And what do we see? We do see that, first off, we have a sale over here, but we'll get into that a little bit later. We have more pertinent information right now. Bitcoin dominance above that 70% threshold that we were speaking about for quite some time now, but really putting a lot of emphasis on over the last couple weeks, of which still looking for more upside here. It is an uptrend now, isn't it, on the Bitcoin dominance chart? And altcoin's going to be enjoying the boo cake party for the next probably 6 months to a year, I guess. Anyways, open interest, what do we see as well? Heading up another 400 million to almost 4.5 billion as of today, of which we do see open interest going up as volume spikes up, as price action goes up, aka rally is real, as we've been stating for a while now, and the upside bias does remain on the whole. Looking at the fear and greed index, also coming down 2 points from 93 to 91. Very interesting right there. I think it's broken because it just has nowhere to go. People are like, what, a $2,000 rally? This isn't good enough. It must go higher. It must go more. 30,000 or go fuck yourself, Krown. And I agree with that sometimes too. Anyways, into the data tab we go. What do we see over here? We do see the futures premium over spot price action continues to increase. That is really something to behold right now. Funding rate now really starting to get way the fuck up. They're actually Bybit at 0.17%, OKX at 0.12%, FTX at 0.14%, and that is 3 exchanges above the 0.1% threshold. So I would be very defensive against local highs being put in within this region. That's not to call any sort of a macro reversal or anything like that. No, of course not. But as we saw in end of, I believe it was November, on that consolidation below 20,000 bucks, it would be time to be a little more defensive upon that. So, how long can this go on for? A few days, I've seen at most, but I would be on the defense right now, as Bitcoin has had, well, quite an impressive rally, if I do say so myself, and I'm sure that a lot of people out there agree as well. Anyways, let me just make sure that I'm recording and my phone's working. Okay, good, awesome, great. All right, so into the actual charts we go, my friends. Oh, and I should also say I'll probably be on Twitch today. Yeah, I'll probably be on Twitch today. We'll see. Anyways, over here onto our secondary charts, of course, as Bitcoin is trending. So this is the chart that I want to be referencing right now. And we do have the weekly closure coming tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And this is going to be the biggest, baddest thing to be aware of within the next, I guess, like 16 hours, 37 minutes, and 13 seconds, by the way. And any sort of a closure above the top side Toronto band. And I would be looking for this rally to give another try to the upside, aka making new all-time highs above our current all-time high, which is currently 27,712 and 90 cents. So let's see where that kind of ends up at the end of the day here, if that's not redundant enough. Now, there's two major things that I'd be looking for based upon just that information. First and foremost, if we do close above later today at 7 p.m. Eastern time, above the topside Toronto band, which for reference is 24,250, then I would be looking for new highs on this run. Where are those new highs going to come around? We'll look at the shorter term timeframes for areas of interest upon that. But the other competing narrative with that, which I do believe both things will actually happen, very likely, but even within the same week, is that we'll probably come down and test around the topside Toronto band, wherever it closes at for tonight, anywhere around there, give or take about, because price action is very fucking large here, maybe $500 even, and so that would imply that Bitcoin likely does come back down and test somewhere around about $25,000. Now, with that said, for reference here, last week to this week, we have seen the topside Toronto band have a massive, massive change, almost of $3,000 actually as of the current moment in time. 21,500 was the last week closure, and 24,250 would be this week's closure with price action right here, right now. And it won't change around too much unless we actually sell off before then. So I stick with what I've been saying. I am looking at Bitcoin in Bula trending mode as long as we're closing weekly dildos above the topside Toronto band. That is still available. Obviously, last week's breakout did suggest that, hey, this is unlikely to stop right now, especially after, about a month of sideways right here. It's likely to get more continuation. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. Not to toot my own horn or anything like that. That's not the purpose of saying a statement like that. It's to follow up for the people who've been here for a long time now. Also, I've been getting a lot of questions about people asking like where I trade and everything, or if I endorse an exchange. I do technically have a link to Bybit Exchange in the description below, but I don't publicly endorse any exchange because first off, there's a bunch of different laws, and you want to make sure that you are, being compliant with whatever your local laws are. I'm sure that there's a million different ways, around those sorts of things if you speak to a clever lawyer. However, that's something that you have to just, go reference a professional for that, not me. I'm just sharing what I think is one of the better exchanges right now, mostly because they have they have the majority of the liquidity for people looking to go the non KYC route, I suppose. Anyways, with that said, how did I get on that fucking tangent? Oh yes, that's right, back on over here. So also, we've been referencing the 3-day and the 2-day as of recent times as well, and both of these timeframes could look at them for that same sort of narrative. Of course, the lower time frame that we go, obviously weekly, 3-day, 2-day, is going to speak towards the more proximal trend. And in this case right here, I believe that all time frames up to a daily are trending above the topside Toronto band. And the daily will have a chance to do it again here too, currently sitting at about 27,500. So any sort of a closure above there today, and yes, I would be looking for new all-time highs coming into this next week of price action, while also simultaneously looking for a pullback somewhere down around, well, I mean, if the topside Toronto bound on the weekly rises up another $3,000, it's literally going to be at fucking 27,000. That's something to consider. We'll have the same sort of trade available on the 2-day and 3-day as well. So looking at the 2-day as it is right now, currently topside Toronto band sitting at around 25,000 and just under $800. So all of these, have an interplay with each other. And the 2-day and the daily and the weekly are all closing today. So those are the ones that I put at the forefront, and then the 3-day is going to be tomorrow. So that's going to speak towards the current trend and continuation biases. So with that in mind, and like just looking at it right here, it looks pretty fucking good. Should we go over anything else? Oh yes. Actually, the monthly is going to be closing relatively soon too, and because it is a weekend, it is a Sunday after all, we should start to incorporate the long term. Yeah, I'm looking at my calendar down here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 days left in the month of December, so the monthly is very much pertinent right now. And if we do see any sort of a closure above the topside Toronto band here too, I'd be having the same thing. And guess where it is currently? About 20,300. So a nice and healthy $7,000 above right now, or even more than that. And of course, the monthly Trollander bands really did get it as well. We were saying that 11,500 was the critical area over here to maintain macro bullishness. That happened way over here, and actually even closed above the topside Trollander band on the same tick. Not bad. And then boom, off to the races. Looking at our trending oscillators from this, I do think that it is also important to reflect upon this as well. Monthly MACD, obviously very good right there, but it's the monthly DMI plus that actually just obviously been dominant the whole time, but the ADX just started strengthening, so that is good as well. Saying that this rally is actually really, as far as the macro goes, and I'm going to say something a little bit crazy right now, but as far as the macro goes, to be 100% clear, it's, well, more or less kind of just getting started in a lot of ways. What we're experiencing right now is Bitcoin making new all-time highs, and typically when it does, it continues to make new all-time highs for quite some time. As we've been referencing over here on the weekly as well on BLX index, which has the most history for this asset, we have seen that anytime that Bitcoin has taken out the prior all-time high with a weekly closure, well, it's usually melt up time. And I'll do this again. I did this yesterday, so I don't want to bore people with this, but this one over here closed above the prior all-time high. This is, by the way, at 9/10 of a cent, or sorry, not 9/10 of a cent. It's at 9 cents, and it melts up another 450%. Then short-term reversal right here for a couple months, and then boom, closed above on new highs, and then another 190% rally to the upside, and then same thing over here, producing a almost 2700% move to the upside. I mean, these are fucking phenomenal moves. Then about a half year of sideways reversal. And then a new closure on new all-time highs on the weekly, and then melts up another 1,300% almost, and then same thing over here for a few months as it cools off and consolidates, and then blast off once again 650% to the upside. Then about a year long of consolidation on the lows before the next closure above the prior all-time high, and that one produced the big bad one, especially from the 2017 rally all the way to $20,000. This almost being a 2,000% increase in price action. So as of current times, we have seen new weekly all-time highs as of 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, and thus far it has been about a 40.5% rally to the upside. So again, putting into perspective of the past prior runs. Is it, is it an outlier as of right now? If we just kind of ignore the numbers on the left-hand side here, no, not at all. I know it sounds crazy. I really apologize to people who are new on this channel, as I don't want to come off as a moon boy or a doom boy for that matter. I want to come off as, more or less a trader who thinks in terms of probabilities. But if we're looking at the history of this, it would not it would certainly not be out of the ordinary. In fact, if anything, this is significantly like less than what we've seen in the past. I mean, I think on the lowest side we saw like a 200% increase, so that would be basically a 3x off this right here, which would be 60,000 or 20 times 3, 60,000. So bad mental math in the early morning hours here. Anyways, that's what we have calculators for, my friends. Anyways, okay, so now that we got that out, should we talk about the bi-monthly and quarterly? Yeah, we should, because they're also going to be closing at the end of this month as well. And guess what? We're going to have a chance to close above the top side Toronto band here on the bi-monthly. Whoops, put this back on and take this off. Yeah, that's what I mean to do. And that only needs to maintain price action above about $19,000 for the bi-monthly. And for the quarterly right here, that same price point would be about $18,400. So looks quite likely right now, almost $10,000, almost $10,000 fucking dollars above that. That is just wild, man. That is just fucking wild. And of course, if we look at momentum oscillators here as well, we do see that ADX just started strengthening. DMI plus is obviously dominant, and MACD is just really doesn't even have enough history to make any much sense out of. Bi-monthly looks a little more obvious here, obviously making new highs on the DMI plus ADX strengthening trend is beginning here as far as the bi-monthly goes. So we're talking about 6 months to a year price action based off a chart like this, and I am just generally bullish on the whole. Doesn't mean that we can't have very nasty downside moves. In fact, we certainly will. And because Bitcoin has such a big number right now, just under $28,000 almost, those downside moves can be thousands of dollars, and people are going to say, Krown, you fucking moron, you're talking about Bitcoin to new all-time highs and it just went down $2,000, but it's still an uptrend. So we need to go down to the lower term time frame for this now and start to talk about this. So yesterday, where were we? We were somewhere right around here, and we did say that we would have a natural bias towards 25,700 as Bitcoin did take out the 2-spot 618 extension right here, and more importantly, did have the pattern target a little bit higher, and that target was obviously met. But we did say that, hey, the 3-spot extension is really nothing too great in particular. While it probably does produce a short-term pullback, which it looks like it did on the hourly, again, a very short-term pullback right here. Ultimately, if we do see any sort of a closure on a 4-hour dildo or above, we would start to target the 3-spot 618 or the 3-spots 272, because right now we're kind of in like the fucking twilight zone as far from what I like to reference it as. It's just things get a little more crazy the further that we go. And the 3-spot 618 is actually a really, really big one. So actually would be looking for a little bit of sideways dramas within this region. However, any sort of a closure above this region, and I would not be using a 4-hour for this, mostly because the next move is going to be pretty damn nasty as well. I would be looking for an extension, not to the 4-spot right here, but to the 4-spot 236. That's the final one that I have on my chart. That's also a nice, almost round, healthy, even number at about $30,000. So I imagine that there's going to be a lot of psychological resistance there as well. Let me just move this back so we can actually see it. And that's where I would be, very, 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 very cautious for a blow off. Now, a lot of people are going to say, but Krown, this is already a blow off. Yes, you're right. It is a blow off, but blow offs can get even more crazy. And that is certainly referenced here by the daily. I like to use daily RSI, or not necessarily daily RSI, but RSI in general for these very strong trending moves to see, when they're starting to get a little bit more exhausted. And in this case right here, yes, it is getting towards a critical zone. But that first step into there, probably not going to be what people are looking for it to be. Couple that up with the fact that daily Stokes are completely vertical right here too in the critical zone. I mean, those are very strong reads. So while it is very close, and it will naturally be making some divergence, the next high that it puts in, as long as we're not above about 84 or 85 on the RSI. It likely does produce a nice, nice short-term reversal, and then we do see that topside Toronto band on the 2-day, 3-day, and likely weekly as well get tested, a few $1,000s lower. That, does it turn into the next opportunity? Probably yes. Anyways, looking at, or actually let's go back down to lower term time frames over here. So yes, even though, it's kind of crazy. Like yesterday when I make a video like that, and I'm basically talking about 25,700. when we're trading at, $1,000 below there. And for the last few days, kind of talking about the same thing. It's almost as if, it's time to do 2 videos a day again, which kind of have been doing, but it is the weekend and it's my girlfriend's birthday and it's also Christmas time. And who the fuck is even watching these videos right now? Go hang out with your family. Seriously. Anyways, I shouldn't say that. I don't hang with my family. Anyways, I don't know anything about that. Anyways, so yes, on the lower term timeframes right here, what do we see? We do see that 4-hour RSI getting up there as well. Probably does have a little bit of a short-term pullback relatively soon. Yes, there will be divergence, so very, very likely on the next high that's printed, as long as it's below about 90, about 90 on the on 4-hour RSI. But that first implies that we have to see an actual high be confirmed. And as it stands right now, this is in no way, shape, or form a high. This is continuation as it is. So you need to see something resembling a reversal, and that's just not even, it's not even a topic of consideration in the current structure of this. Now, it likely does happen incredibly fast, but until you get that, until you get some sort of clear stop and reverse, there's not even going to be fucking divergence relevant on a low-term time frame like a 4-hour, which is something to really think about as well. Looking at 4-hour Stokes, they're just having a fresh cross the upside. They remain to the upside as long as they're above 27,300. And I'm curious what Caretaker has to say about this as well. Caretaker on the hourly, showing next short-term target to the upside would be 28,200. Very, very interesting right there. Jesus Christ. Yeah, strong rising trend. Yeah, you got that one right, Caretaker, you fuck. Jesus Christ. Yeah, very strong, in fact. What about on a 4-hour? I'm curious if we see any sort of confluence here. Yeah, this one's showing about 28,000 as well. To 29,000 are the next areas of interest, according to this. Anyways, back onto our regular charts over here, and historical volatility percentile actually still contracting. So we did get that right at the end of last week, looking for a contraction phase to lead into this next week of price action, and I'd be looking for this contraction phase to likely govern this next high. And you typically see this in traditional markets when stocks are making new all-time highs. They typically make new all-time highs on decreasing volatility, and then when volatility gets incredibly low, that's when it's time to start thinking about, okay, are we due for a reversal here? Is it time to buy some puts? Shit like that. And in this case, I believe we're seeing a similar reaction, a similar response. So with that in mind, we'll go down to the 3-hour, and so we got right here, 3-hour Stokes, fucking erect as well in the critical zone. So when the reversal does happen on the short-term timeframes, it's going to be very, 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 very quick. And I don't have any, points of reference for you actually on a video like this, because there's not anything resembling that right now. And like I said, it's gonna happen really fucking fast when it does. So that's just the point where you say, Krown, go fuck yourself. TA's bullshit. Well, you can't really do too much in a scenario like this. That's why I like looking at Caretaker's FCC over here. And why I like looking at the trolling bands, because they're probably going to line up with those areas naturally, but it's not going to be anything direct. You just can't do that. Just enjoy the fucking trend. That's really all that I do. I've basically been mostly a hodler for the last couple months, or actually going back to like October. I've been mostly a hodler. I've been doing a little bit of trading here and there, but not that much. Ever since Bitcoin broke 11,500, it's been mostly just hodling, I guess, which is it's not very sexy, but don't really need to do all that much in a market that's straight up fucking vertical. What do we see on the bi-hourly? Bi-hourly Stokes flipping around a little bit, but technically still up as well. Bi-hourly RSI, it's going to have that same sort of divergence available as well, but still no high being printed just yet. Keep an eye out for that. Do we see anything even resembling a high on an hourly? No, not yet as well. We do see hourly RSI playing out hidden bullish evidence right here. Credit to Caretaker on that one again. Jesus fucking Christ, man, this is just ridiculous. I would pay attention to hourly Stokes here though. Any sort of a closure below 27,420, and yes, we will cross them back down, and probably look for another move on the hourly, $1,000 lower or something like that. Jesus Christ, man, on an hourly we have $1,000 range, not even for a range, but just down to the 21. I mean, that's something, man. That's really something. Going over to the 12-hour and the medium-term timeframes, what do we see right here? 12-hour Stokes did call up properly yesterday as well. Still erect here. Will remain erect as long as you're above about $26,000. These numbers are just getting too much for me, man. 12-hour RSI, same thing. Divergence likely will be available, but what the fuck is going on over there? Sorry, Elsa's like having trouble with the TVs right now. But still, there's nothing resembling a high right now. So I'm sure a lot of people are, all the fucking divergence people are going to be like, but we have divergence. No, we don't. You need local highs. You need local highs or local lows to compare to each other. Otherwise, there's never, ever, 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 ever in any circumstance ever possible divergence ever, fucking ever. And very rarely do you ever say ever in any aspect in anything. But in this case, yes, you can certainly say that because it is by fucking definition. Looking at the daily right here, we kind of already referenced this one. I mean, it's still in melt up phase. Do not underestimate how crazy things can get in a melt up phase like this. Now, what I do want to do is I want to go back over here, and I think it was on my stamp chart maybe. Let's see what this says. Yes. So here's the point of the video where we get absolutely crazy and just take off your pants and get fucking ready for the green dildo party, baby. I am gonna talk some bullshit right now. All right. So Bitcoin spent the last 3 years consolidating below about 20,000 bucks in a higher low structure on the whole. So if we're looking at this whole thing, technically speaking, it is an ascending triangle, right? And if it is an ascending triangle, then that would be a bullish reaccumulation formation in this case. And we did break above the topside resolution of this point, which would have a measure move on top of it, which we've already gone ahead and done over here, which would be pointed north towards about $35,000. That is also very interesting to me because that would be a Fibonacci extension of 3.618 coming out of the whole prior base from the 11.5 to $3,100 consolidation right here, which is a really, really big one. Now, of course, you can probably say, Krown, why don't you take it like this? You can take it like this, and it will actually line up directly with the 2-spot extension, but I'm looking specifically at this one because this one was the big one for me. For 11,500 was the actual macro breakout. You can see that Bitcoin's been vertical ever since it closed its first weekly dildo above that region. And so I do put a little bit more weight on this one, but as Bitcoin goes onwards and forwards, and assuming that we actually do take out that $35,000 level at, some later date, maybe like a year out or whatever it ends up being, then I would be looking for that next, that next one too. And then we can start to look at that. But for right now, even if we were to just kind of take a percentage gainer from where Bitcoin where Bitcoin broke out at around 20,000 bucks to where that $35,000 target would be, that would be an 81.5% move, which, remember, when we went over the past prior moves when Bitcoin makes new all-time highs, I would still be on, certainly on the lower side by a factor of, or by divisible by 2, basically, as the lowest I believe we saw was just under 200%, or maybe just under 300%, something like that, right? And more importantly, with that, it would suggest that, well, while Bitcoin probably does put in a major high right there, maybe it's not the next macro high. That's all I'll say. And again, we are in the TR Nerd session right now, so I feel like I can speak a little more freely. Again, we're talking like way fucking far down the road. I'm not looking for this to happen today or tomorrow or even this month or next month or whatever. But it is Sunday and it's fun to talk about some more further out ideas here. So the 3.618, big one for an algo target, similar to what we saw back on over here on the short-term timeframes for a target yesterday, for a target today at about 27,500, it looks like. But if this area starts to get closed above on, I would not use a 4-hour, I'd use like a 12-hour for this probably, then 30,000 is going to be the next target. Not the 4 spot right here, but the 4 spot 236 will be the next one. And these are just algo targets. Like they're not hard rules. They're just likely points of greater pullbacks. And if I did have to call it right now, just looking at the 12-hour from a Fibonacci perspective, it probably does come back down and test around 27,000 even. But I mean, at this point, what's a $700 move when you're trading at 27,700? I mean, that's it barely registers on the fucking chart, We are in the twilight zone, my friends. We are in the twilight zones, and the biggest thing that I can say for this is just enjoy it. Enjoy it. I know for the people who have been around this channel for the last 3 years, a lot of you, who we have built up relationships with, you've been trading through all this bullshit over here, and believe me, those skills that you generated while going through a market like this, those are very, 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 very important skills, because this will happen again, and probably even to a more nasty extent over time. But for right now, just enjoy it, because not we, but Bitcoin is doing magical things, and it's time to just appreciate the magic. It's good old Merlin over here. Anyways, CME is obviously not open right now, but they're going to open up on another major gap up, it looks like. And keep in mind that CMEs did close the week at 23,700. So I probably would be looking for a move somewhere around, at the very least, the high of this prior dildo right here. If we look at this on Trollender band perspective, I imagine that's probably going to be lining up with our other target from spot, yeah, which would be around 25,000 bucks. So I'd probably be looking somewhere right around there. Yes, Bitcoin very likely does come back down and test that region sometime this week, but again, assuming that the prior condition was met, I would also be looking for that to likely be an opportunity, because Bitcoin very likely does make new all-time highs on that run. Again, assuming that these conditions are met, which we have another, 15 hours to go on the day. Okay, all right. 24 minutes, 25 minutes into this video. Let's go check out some altcoins here, or let's just check out the Bitcoin dominance. I wonder what all the people who have been giving me so much shit for such a long time are going to say about this. I mean, here's a crazy thing, and here's something to really reflect upon as well. The trend is actually just continuing on the weekly here after a nearly year or more, a little bit more than a year-long consolidation. I'll repeat that again. The trend is literally just beginning to continue as of this week's closure, anywhere above 71.5%. on the Bitcoin dominance chart on TradingView after a little bit more than 1 year long of consolidation. I'll repeat. My point is that this is going to get way worse for altcoins. Things will not stop here on the whole. Short term, yes. Do things come back down maybe a little bit below 70%? Probably yes. However, long term, this is continuation. We have an uptrend on the monthly and on the weekly, and it's literally just continuing right now, threatening a new high on this run on a closing basis. Weekly, same thing as well, and obviously this one can be confirmed as soon as later today at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So keep that in mind, because it's really not out of the question to see this absolutely fucking catapult up into the mid 80s, maybe even 90s over the next 6 months to a year. This is really fucking powerful right here, and I pity the fool who's playing around with altcoins right now, trying to get rich. I think Mr. Buterall's chart speaks for itself. This is absolute fucking garbage right here. Now, again, does that mean that I'm calling Ethereum versus US dollar garbage? No, absolutely not. These are different charts. This one's being charted versus Bitcoin, but I would certainly not be surprised at all. And in fact, it's not that I wouldn't be surprised. I would be looking for it to come all the way back down and test around 1,750,000 Satoshis. It's going for the full retrace here after this past prior rally. Could it go for more? Possibly yes, but at least for right now, I would be looking for this one to come down significantly over the next few months. Litecoin, Bitcoin, this one's actually been one of the better actors, to be fair. It even does have some bullish divergence coming on here, and the MACD is about to cross up on the monthly here too. So if anything's going to have a nice rally, this one's probably going to be it, and it's going to be 650,000 Satoshis would be my next target. But that's certainly the outlier. Ripple Bitcoin, I mean, this is this is good. This is great. This is fine. It's like cue the meme of the little dog who's like sitting in a burning house. This is fine. Everything's good. No, this one's not just going for the full retrace. It's probably gonna make new all-time lows, if I had to guess. It's just these things don't really have anywhere else to go right now. Cardano Bitcoin, again, full retrace and new all-time lows very likely happening. Again, here's what I've been speaking about over the last 3 years. A downtrend continues. There is no reason to think that a trend does not continue anymore until you get an actual reversal of trend. And for all of the shit that I've gotten about talking shit about altcoins, it's not me talking about shit about altcoins. It's me talking shit about shitty charts is what it is. This is, well, I think this one speaks for itself. Link, even Link's not safe. Link is going for reversal here too. Now, to be fair, is Link going to be one of the better actors? Absolutely, yes. This one technically is not even in a downtrend just yet on a monthly. Now, on a weekly, is it in a downtrend? Actually, technically not as well, because we don't really have like a lower high. It's just a continuation phase right here. It probably bounces from this region, to be fair, but long term it's not looking good. It probably does reverse and it's going to join the rest of the market. But this one, contrary to the other ones, not going to be going for the full retrace. It's going to be going for a very nasty retrace, though, probably for the next few months as well. What do we see? Or actually, we can just reference the shit perps. So this is a whole altcoin chart, but this is versus US dollar, so that's actually not going to help. Yeah, that's actually not going to help, because of course they're doing well versus US dollar, but are they doing well versus Bitcoin right now? What about Link versus US dollar? Really good bounce right there. In fact, I would, yeah, I'm not going to be bearish on altcoins versus US dollar. I would probably just not even want to look at them though, because this is This is just making the game more difficult than it needs to be. I think that's pretty much it for the altcoins that I actually even want to look at. Maybe Uni. What's Uni doing? Uni's going down as well. Yeah, it's gonna go for. It's already gone for the full retrace. I mean, this is the rolling hills of distribution right here. This is as ugly as a chart pattern as you can get. I used to call this the hero of death because it's kind of like an H pattern. It's like hero, go fuck yourself, go die, you chart you. Anyways, what else do we want to talk about? We're already 30 minutes into this video. Probably time for me to start to really wrap this one up. Jesus Christ, man. Man, I just want to say to all the people who've been here for the last 3 years, this is really something, man. A lot of us have been waiting for this for a long time. Enjoy it. Fucking enjoy it, man. Fucking enjoy it. And I hope that this is coming at the right time for a lot of people here, especially, you know, with this last year of just shittiness. I know for a lot of people with the whole coronavirus thing going on, it's disrupted a lot of their financial flows, and hopefully this this market right here is helping in that regard. So yeah, where there's shittiness, there's also opportunity. In this case right here, Bitcoin is providing a shit ton of opportunity. I'm curious what gold looks like right now, just out of curiosity. Where are you, gold, you little shit fuck? There we go, 18,800. I'm still probably looking for this one to head up as well. Hidden bullish divergence plus weekly stokes crossing up. This one very likely does gun for 1950 for a first target, and then we'll come back to it after that. It seems like everything in this world actually is kind of rallying right now. NASDAQ futures making new all-time highs, although this one's kind of could be reversal coming into this week as well, but looking at RSI, probably not. What about SPY? Same thing. Potential reversal if we take out last week's low. Same thing on NASDAQ. If we take out last week's low, I would be looking for a reversal, a pretty nasty one too, down actually about like down about wait, what is that? Down about $1,000. Yeah, 11,750. Am I doing math right today? Am I counting right? No, all these numbers are just humongous right now. Anyways, what else do we want to check out? I think that's pretty much it. Let's go back on to Bitcoin. Let's start to wrap this bitch up. And I mean, it's like I can't even really give you anything on the lower term timeframes here because there's not really much to be said about this. If I had to call it right now, do I think that the 3.618 does produce a bit of a short-term reversal? Yes, I do. And where the short-term reversal target be, it would be down to the 3.414. That'd be right around 27,000 even. But the short-term timeframes right now are just not that helpful. Any sort of a medium-term timeframe close above the 3.618, I suppose I would target the next major fib, which is not going to be the 4. It's going to be the 4.236. That basically 30,000 bucks, we'll say. And you probably do get wasted 30,000 bucks because you know how the liquidation engine works. However, the big focus is really on our higher term timeframes that are closing today, which is going to be the daily, 2-day, and weekly. The weekly being the biggest one, and obviously the monthly and bi-monthly and quarterly all coming, I guess, middle of this coming week. And if we do see a weekly closure above the top side Toronto band today, 7 p.m. Eastern time, which by the way, CMEs have already done this, so it's very likely that spot does it as well. A little bit of a formality here, but that price point would be 24,300. Living a clean more than $3,000 above it right now, then I would be looking for new highs on this run coming into this next week. Probably 30,000 bucks is the next realistic target. I know it sounds fucking crazy. However, I would simultaneously be looking for a move back down to test wherever the topside Toronto band is upon open of this week as well. So there's likely going to be an opportunity plus continuation on top of that, assuming that condition is met. Now, let's say that in the odd chance that Bitcoin actually does close below the topside Toronto band on the weekly today, which again would be 24,300. Then I would be looking for a reversal back down to $20,000 base, and we can talk about that. I don't think that that's what's happening here, but again, my opinion is not necessary. I trade technical analysis, not my shitty, stupid opinion. Going over here to the 2-day, same thing as well. Same trade essentially available. Needs to close above 25,800 to maintain its posture above the topside Toronto band. That implies new all-time highs likely coming in within the next 2 days. And same thing for the daily is going to be available here as well. Although this one a little more aggressive, showing the topside Toronto band at 27,500. And if that condition is met, I'm looking for new highs coming into literally tomorrow. So putting all the puzzle pieces together here, assuming that all of these conditions are met, I'd be looking for continuation sooner rather than later. However, if we do see closures below those critical levels on all of those time frames, then we can talk about, at the very least, medium-term reversals and probably maybe even a long-term reversal as well. And $20,000 will be, well, $24,000 is going to be the next like real target, short-term target, and then $20,000 would be the next like actual target. However, I don't think that that's what's happening right here. I do think that Bitcoin's in the crazy mode right now, and we do see this melt up a little bit more. And the parabolic blow off top will be nasty, but it's still probably got a little bit more time if I had to guess. Looking at it right now in the short-term timeframes, again, there's not really too much helpful things right here. I do think that short-term probably does play back down to the 3 spot 414. That is quite likely, but the focus is all on the higher-term timeframes closing a little bit later today. And with that said, I would like to wish you the best and the happiest. Take care, and until next time. Oh wait, no, actually, I forgot to talk about the sale. God damn it, man. All right. Anyways, sale. We got a sale going on. The link's in the description below, of course, and it's another 7 days. Actually, a little bit less than 7 days left on it. I always want to say, watch the videos that accompany these programs. They're going to explain who it's for, who it's not for in detail, so that you can make an educated decision for yourself. Keep in mind that these programs are really designed for someone who wants to do this as a living. It's not going to be most people out there, so understand that. And the Neophytes program is a little bit on the more casual side. However, it is very basic content as well. So if you have been on this channel for a while, you may be above the level of content within that program, but it also does give you a discount on the other programs if you decide to ever get in them in the future time. So it'd be the same price anyways. No harm, no foul. Looking at the PineScript Mastery one, that is from Mr. Mournfall himself, the creator of the Jewel, and also this application, which will teach you how to code your own indicators in PineScript. And then over here on our partners tab, we have the Caretaker STD, which I was referencing earlier. Love that one. Then we got the Caretaker RSI, referencing that one earlier. Really love that one as well. And then we have Jackie's programs, of which he has his group psychology, where he'll actually meet with you virtually, of course, COVID and everything, right? And go over your trades for the week. And that is really, really helpful. Had seen some really good reviews from that, really good results. And then, of course, Jackie's psychology program over here, just a video portion of it essentially. So it doesn't include like the actual meeting with each other, but it will go over it in a more videolistic way. So with that said, I do want to wish you the best once again. Take care, and until next time.